Hi, I'm Matt Saintsing, and welcome back to another episode of the DAV podcast. And just a reminder, if you're not following us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, go ahead and like and follow those pages so you never miss an episode or any of our other fantastic content. And if you're a veteran in need, you can always go to DAV.org or to benefitsquestions.org to reach out directly to a national service officer. Now, if you didn't hear or read the news in DAV magazine, DAV recently acquired Patriot Boot Camp, an entrepreneurship program aimed at providing service members, veterans, and their spouses with access to mentors, education, and a robust community of experts to launch, sustain, and grow a business. The new DAV Patriot Boot Camp will feature intensive 3-day programs to help business owners and future employers innovate and build impactful careers. To get started, I spoke with Elizabeth D. Pompey, a communications writer who recently covered the Patriot Boot Camp acquisition in the March-April edition of DAV magazine. So I decided to sit down with her to find out just what Patriot Boot Camp is and what it can do for you. So Elizabeth, for those out there who didn't read your great article in DAV magazine, can you start by briefly describing just what Patriot Boot Camp is and how it came to be?
Sure. So Patriot Boot Camp is really a community that was built to empower and support veterans, service members, and military spouses in becoming and succeeding as entrepreneurs. It was founded in 2012 when one of its co-founders, Taylor McLemore, a startup founder, was going through an accelerator program called Techstars. And at the time, Taylor really saw this opportunity and a need to build more pathways between the military community and the startup community, particularly in the tech startup space. So and I should mention also that he has a lot of family who served in the military, so it's something that he was passionate about. So he wrote a blog post, others latched on to his vision, and kind of long story short, they founded Patriot Boot Camp.
Interesting. Yeah, I know there's oftentimes a natural connection between the military community and entrepreneurship. And it's interesting that he's military adjacent, veteran adjacent. Right. So that totally makes sense. And the real nuts and the bolts of the DAV Patriot Boot Camp seems to be their multi-day workshops. And I know you spoke to a few people who actually went through the program previously. So what did they have to say?
So I think in a literal sense, yes, the multi-day workshops are kind of the foundation of Patriot Boot Camp. So several boot camps are held throughout the year across the country, and participants get the chance to hear from business leaders, get expert advice, workshop their ideas, and build all these connections. I'm told that the days are pretty intense, so they go from early in the morning to the evening, but then there's also some built-in time to socialize and get to know everyone outside of that environment. But what alumni say is really special about Patriot Boot Camp is, one, the supportive community that they find there, and two, the mentorship program. So every participant gets one-on-one sessions with different mentors during the boot camp. One alumni told me that he learned everything from how to recruit the right team to developing a business model to approaching investors. And he said he still relies on the people and the mentors that he met at Patriot Boot Camp as he grows and evolves his business. And I think that piece of it is significant. It's not just these 3 days where you download a ton of information, meet a bunch of people, and then you're on your way. You really do stay connected to all the other entrepreneurs and veterans and service members, military spouses that you've met. And you can also lean on the mentors that you were connected with while you were there.
It really sounds like the ultimate networking opportunity that doesn't quite stop after you're done with the actual 3-day boot camp, right? And yes. I know networking is like a daunting thing for a lot of people, but this really does introduce folks to a whole breadth of industries and business resources they wouldn't otherwise have. What are some examples of the types of businesses the veterans or spouses that you spoke to? What kind of industries are they in?
So historically, Patriot Boot Camp has had a tech focus. That's kind of its roots. But alumni really run the gamut because most businesses have some kind of tech angle these days, right? Technology is pervasive in our world and in our economy. So on the tech-heavy end, you have someone like Nick Culbertson, who co-founded Protennis, which is a business that uses artificial intelligence to track hospital compliance with patient privacy laws, as well as detecting fraud like data theft or drug diversion. And then you have someone like Lieutenant Colonel Carl Churchill and his wife, Lori Churchill, who founded Alpha Coffee. So they create their own coffee. I have not had the pleasure of meeting them or interviewing them yet, but you can hear some of their story on patriotbootcamp.org. So from artificial intelligence in the healthcare space to coffee, I think alumni really represent this wide range of industries.
Absolutely. Very diverse. Have you had the pleasure of having the coffee yet?
I have not yet. I don't know if I should admit this, but I'm a tea person.
Oh, okay. Well, we will forgive you for that.
Okay,
No worries there. I am an equal opportunity caffeine enthusiast myself. So have any Patriot Boot Camp alumni gone on to have additional success through this program?
Since 2012, over 1,000 alumni have raised more than $150 million in venture capital, and their companies employ over 1,900 people. A couple of examples, going back to ProTennis, that company now employs 115 people, is in more than 1,000 hospitals across the country, and has raised $15 million in capital. And Nick Culbertson really attributes the company's success, in particular its accelerated success, in large part to Patriot Boot Camp and the connections that he made there. Alpha Coffee, again, you can learn a little bit about them on patriotbootcamp.org. It was in 2018 or 19 that they did $1 million in revenue. And since 2010, they've donated more than 20,000 bags of Alpha Coffee to deploy troops. That's a big great part of their mission, which is that idea of mission is a common theme when looking at veteran and military entrepreneurs.
Yeah, certainly. Well, let's get into that. What are the motivating factors for people with a military background to start their own business?
Yeah, I think entrepreneurship appeals to veterans because it's an opportunity to dedicate themselves to a new mission and a mission that they're really passionate about. So Nick Culbertson, going back to him, he was a Green Beret medic. And after he got out of the military, he attended med school at Johns Hopkins. Oh, wow. And ProTennis started out, as he puts it, as a research project that spun out of control and turned into a company. I don't know how many people accidentally found a company, but that's kind of what happened to Nick, because it was something that he was really passionate about. He saw this gap, frankly, in the healthcare industry when it came to privacy protection and data. And so he decided to leave med school and dedicate himself to this new mission, and one that's continuing to serve people. So I think it's that opportunity for mission, purpose, and service that is really appealing to veterans. I also think it's just a natural fit for many veterans' unique skills and experiences. So we know that starting a business is incredibly challenging and difficult, and you will hit a number of roadblocks along the way. And veterans are just equipped to take those challenges head on and really thrive. Something that we hear a lot is that veterans and service members are problem solvers. And after service, they might see a problem and their instinct is to try to find a solution. And that's really so much of what business is finding solutions to, big problems and little problems. And so I think it's just a natural fit for people in the military community.
But what's it like to actually go through the program? For that, Elizabeth spoke to former Army Transportation Officer Carolyn Nice, who got her inspiration for her app, Nice Move, which I love the name, by the way, from a meeting with high-ranking officers at the largest office building in the country.
I discovered in a meeting at the Pentagon that I wanted to help my brothers and sisters in arms with moving. I just happened to be in a meeting where there was a very high general in my section who was talking about the transportation and the household goods move. I'm in this meeting and, it's 2 stars talking about we have to make household good move better. They were talking about, Transcom and the issues that were coming up pre-COVID. And then he just looked at me and he goes, Major Nice, what do you think? And it shocked me because I was in the meeting for a different meeting. I was, on the bench ready for the next topic that we were going into. And I was listening to him and, what the other professionals at the table were saying. And I was like, it would be so cool to have an app to be able to, track the truck and the packages and to, we have expectation management on when things show up. But what I didn't realize when I was in that meeting, he was talking about setting up an app to be able to help out with the paperwork, to make it easier for the spouses to get to, for the service member to get to. He was going in a really good, but different direction. I'm going to tell you what, I left that meeting and I called up a buddy and I was like, we're making this app. I have a vision and this is going to happen.
And why do you think it's something that you were so passionate about that you just had to run with it? Because on the surface, it's an app to help you move, but it really sounds like more of a mission and like you really wanted to help service members in some way?
I built it to help my brothers and sisters in arms move and have a better experience than the ones we were having. And 21st century moving needs 21st century technology.
So at about what point was that you went to Patriot Boot Camp, and what was that experience like?
I went there in October, and it was amazing because it was, I could not believe the talent that was invited to come to this. Not only invited to come, but those professionals and those senior people, like leaders in the industries, all across the board, who actually wanted to come and be a part of helping veterans to grow and build our businesses. I was able to go back and connect with them later on and just send them a LinkedIn or an email like, hey, it was great talking to you at Patriot Boot Camp. And just hearing PBC and that I was there was a foot in for wonderful mentorship.
So what were you connected with, like a single mentor or multiple mentors at the actual camp? Like, what did that look like?
So it was really cool. So, you're kind of like, you're part of this. Because of COVID, mine was virtual. So we had a bunch of like classes, if you will. But the really neat thing was that they set up was a 30-minute speed mentor session. So you were able to actually sit, look somebody eye to eye and connect with them about what your business is or what your idea is. So I was able to talk during this Patriot Boot Camp for 30 minutes about Nice Move, about my business, about my app, with somebody very relaxed. And I got 3 people that I was able to just be looped into.
So what do you think was the most beneficial or tangible thing that you walked away from Patriot Boot Camp with?
I'm glad you asked me that because, we worked on I had an elevator pitch going into it. And the greatest thing that I got out of it was not just building your elevator pitch, but what is your ask? Because when you're connecting and networking with people, it's not right to go into it like, hey, what are you going to do for me? Can you connect me with this CEO or, do this for me? It was a really nice way to just kind of calm down, tell my elevator pitch, but then also realize, hey, this is what I have to offer. And then this is my ask. Like, I'm not just taking something from you, but I can also give something to you as well, which is really great because as an entrepreneur, you beat yourself up so much. And I was able to realize that even though Nice Move is a new business, I am still able to give something to somebody else while I'm asking for help.
And so where is Nice Move at today? What's happened since October?
So since October, I have been able to connect with a CEO of a very large company. We are heading out to another state to link up for this meeting. And my hope and my wish is that through Nice Move, we can partner and make it free and make it just part of the industry so that people don't have to pay the $4.99 to download, to actually use it. And that's all I can say for now, but this streamer has a lot going on and there's a lot more to come.
The military community and entrepreneurship and why that's such a good fit. Why do you think that's a good fit that makes sense?
Because, the military is a microcosm of the world, and I'm not just saying the US, but of the world, just because through my career, I've been blessed to work with people from other countries, other civilians from other countries, but also other soldiers from other countries. And we all share ingenuity. I think when people think about the military, they think of service members as fighters. And I think the big thing to get out there is to remember that we are educated people who want to make not just the military better, but if you're a professional like me in the transportation world, I want to make transportation better. And if you think about it, Nice Move is coming, it couldn't come at a better time in a world where we have a pandemic and we want to do things from our phones. We want to be able to connect, for example, to the mover without having to either talk to them on the phone too much or in person. So building customer service autonomously is also, a big part of it too. I think the biggest thing for anybody who's serving, just to remember there's another world out there after our service. And there's so much we can give and that we can do to help others, just like I try to create with Nice Move.
And Patriot Boot Camp and its entrepreneurship program is just another tool in the DAV employment toolkit. So I spoke to Rob Luigi with our employment program to find out what prospective attendees need to do before applying to the new DAV Patriot Boot Camp. Hey, Rob, thanks for joining me. I think we should start with what impact will Patriot Boot Camp have on DAV and DAV's employment program?
First of all, we're very excited at the prospects that's going to bring to our employment, the myriad of employment services that we offer now. It's going to enhance that because we wanted to get into the entrepreneurial space. And we wanted to be able to offer separating service members, veterans, and their spouses with resources and information to help them launch their idea. So we're very excited about that collaboration with DAV and in the employment department.
Absolutely. And for any prospective veterans or spouses out there, do they need to be a DAV or a DAV auxiliary member, or will this program be open to non-members?
Like the rest of the services and programs that DAV's offered for over 100 years, you do not need to be a member to take advantage of DAV. We're very proud in the fact that we help all veterans of all eras with many services and programs, and DAV PBC is just another service and another program that we offer.
That's right. And just because someone isn't a member doesn't mean they're not welcome to join our ranks, of course. So if anyone out there...
That's correct. I'll always say that you're welcome to join. We'll always look for new members. We need new blood. So if you want to be a part of your next team, once you leave the military, you miss that camaraderie. We're all disabled veterans. We all have a lot of the same nuances with disabilities or our military experiences. And I would encourage any veteran out there that's listening to this, you'll be joining the most prolific veteran service organization in the country.
You hit the nail on the head with some of that camaraderie stuff, I think, for sure. Kind of gets down to a shared experience. And one of the shared experiences that the prospective veterans or spouses for Patriot Boot Camp would be they are all on some journey about starting a business. So what are the requirements? What does a prospective attendee need to have before applying for a Patriot Boot Camp?
So what I see when I attend job fairs all over the country, and I talk to veterans almost every day or communicate with them, is I have a lot of veterans and separating service members wanting to work for themselves, be their own boss. They have creative minds. They have ideas. There's over 1,100, disabled veteran small businesses in this country. What I think the main thing they should have once they have the idea established is developing the business plan. The business plan is going to be the centerpiece of attracting the attention of capital investors, making sure that your program on paper will support, the SBA requirements for Small Business Administration. So I think the business plan is the key when you start going down the path of learning how to launch your business.
Absolutely. And so people that participate in Patriot Boot Camp run the gambit from having an actual idea to having a company, right? And so, as you say, starting with that business plan is kind of that kernel, that nugget you're going to start with is going to blossom, and Patriot Boot Camp is going to help you develop your business even further, for sure.
That's correct. The idea of Patriot Boot Camp, or DAV Patriot Boot Camp now, is we do a 3-day boot camp traditionally. You'll have successful entrepreneurs, alumni of the program come in and offer mentorship. There'll be, workshops and classes and things specific to developing from A to Z your company. The last thing that anyone wants to see is a small business deteriorate because they didn't have the right guidance and they didn't accumulate the correct tools. And PBC, DAV, Patriot Boot Camp will do that. We'll be able to provide the information they need, and they will hear firsthand from successful alumni that's gone through the program how they were able to successfully launch their businesses and a decade later still be in business.
Wow, that's great.
So it's we're looking forward to how this develops. DAV always does things first class, and this will be no exception.
And so it is a very new program. It is now DAV Patriot Boot Camp, and we're looking forward to having a 3-day Patriot Boot Camp sometime in 2022, correct?
That's correct. We had just acquired it not more than a month ago, so we have to establish the bandwidth. We have to get the right people involved. We want to make sure that when we announce this and we accept registration applications from around the country, that we're prepared to do this first rate, like everything else we do. So I thoroughly anticipate we'll be kicking off our first boot camp, hopefully within the next 4 to 6 months.
Excellent. And veterans and spouses, entrepreneurs can keep their eye out for that too. Well, Rob, I appreciate it. And since I have you on here, in case anyone doesn't know about our employment program, what do you have to tell them about it and possibly some of our career fairs?
Well, we're very excited about the employment program. We keep growing in leaps and bounds. And just so for anyone in the audience who doesn't, understand or has never been on our employment website, you go to jobs.dav.org. We launched a revamped employment program in 2014. We do a lot of different things in the veteran space when it comes to employment. If you visit our website, we not only have tools, resources, and information for veterans and their spouses and separating service members, but we also have tools for employers. It's very important that the employers are educated to the value of the soft skills that veterans possess that can enhance their business plan. So I encourage everyone to get on our website. We're improving it all the time. We're coming up with new content. We're trying to stay very relevant to today's veterans as they discharge, or service members when they become veterans. We want to make sure we're meeting their needs in today's environment.
And lastly, what advice would you give out there to any veteran who's maybe looking for a job right now?
I think the biggest thing I would say is understand your skill sets, understand your likes. I attend job fairs all the time, of course, all over the country. And it's interesting to me when I ask a veteran, what do you want to do? Or a service member that's going through the transition assistance program. They've been in the structured culture for 24 years. And some of them just don't know what they want to do. And I always encourage them, look, I said, sign up for the education programs within the VA. Get a career counselor involved, or a case manager that can actually test your aptitude, your interest, to find out, where it is you want to be. But the best thing is to have a quality resume. That is representing you, and you're going to put that online. You're going to go to all these websites and upload it. That's the introduction that any prospective employer is going to have. So I would make sure the I's are dotted, T's are crossed on your resume. And then from there, you'll learn, you go to our website, you'll be able to register for not only in-person job fairs all over the country, but virtual job fairs.
Absolutely. And as you say, having that good resume, that's a first interaction you're getting with a prospective employer. So you want to make sure that's buttoned up. And it's the first barrier you need to overcome, is really getting into that interview pile.
That is correct. And, resumes are very important. And, a lot of service members, they've never had to put together a resume. A lot of them joined right out of high school.
Certainly.
So like me. So, I never had to apply for a job because Uncle Sam was willing to take me anytime I was ready to go. So, putting together your resume, I would get with the local veterans employment representatives wherever you live. And they do have resume writing classes and programs and tools that'll help you make sure a resume is created that best fits you.
Well, Rob, you've been very generous with your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being with me today.
Oh, you're welcome, Matt. Thank you for having me.
To learn more about Patriot Boot Camp and to keep a lookout for our new 3-day boot camps, go to our website at patriotbootcamp.org and join our newsletter. I'm Matt Saintsing. Until next time.